Being sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, everybody, we're going to open the phone lines for you now. Y'all can give us a call, 615-737-7767. And Dayton, while we're waiting on those calls to come in, man, we was just getting kind of talking good about that. But yeah, taking the kids and getting out and doing things like what Emery and I did the other day, it's something easy to do for most. Now, some of those places getting in and out, you have to do a little bit of climbing, nothing major at all. Emery didn't have any issues. But it's easy to do, it's affordable. You know, it's something you can load them up, take them down there in a car. You don't have to worry about the boat. You don't have to worry about buying a bunch of stuff. You know, we're just using these little old jigs.
Little small stuff.
Go down there and it's so much fun.
Yeah,
you know.
Utilize
and skillet fare too, buddy.
Oh yeah, you got plenty to eat.
Those red eyes are delicious.
You know, Tennessee has so much fishable water besides the lakes.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable what's in our creeks and our streams across the whole state of Tennessee. From, I mean, just anything you want to catch.
Smallmouth, spotted bass,
red eyes, whatever. I mean, if you want to, if you just want to go catch or if you want to eat, this state is one of the best.
Yeah, it is. And some of these waters are just, I mean, a lot of our lakes are clean, some of them aren't. But these waters are clean. I mean, we're sight fishing smallmouth in these pools that are 6 foot deep.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're seeing them 30 yards across there in 6 foot deep water. You can see them swimming in.
Right. But we still do have a problem with trash.
Anywhere.
I mean, yeah, the whole world's messed up on that. When you can pull tractor trailer truckloads out of the ocean, then you got issues. But here in Tennessee, we really need to do something about that.
Have they done the cleanup day? Has Hoppy started that?
Hoppy and them did do that.
I wanted to give him a shout out for that.
Yeah, Hoppy and them,
we're talking about John Hopkins. You guys know who he is, but he put together a cleanup day.
And the high school kids.
And the high school kids helped, a lot of the Bass Nation kids.
Yep.
And that was just a couple of weeks ago, right? And that was that was around the Percy Priest area.
But
and they cleaned a ton up.
They did a lot, but I'm telling you, by walking the banks and seeing where people have access now, where they walk 100 yards off the bank, I got some pictures. There's just 50 bottles, 100 cans. Plastic bags. It's just got something's really got to be done.
When you pack it in, pack it out. If you see something that somebody else left, pack it out too. You know, we grabbed a couple bottles the other day down there. You saw that beautiful stream we were in, and there lays 2 water bottles. Just like, and I understand sometimes accidents happen. You know, maybe you get out of there and you just happen to forget
Falls out of your truck or something.
We've got to pick it up because we're enjoying these right now, you know, but what's it going to be like in 20 years, 30 years when our kids are our age? If we, you know,
I'm going to tell you what's going to be like. It's going to be like California, where you can't go on the islands, and you can't camp out, and you cannot do anything.
Yeah, they end up having to shut it down.
I mean, you go over to Spring Creek and the curves over at Priest right now, it is solid trash. It's solid, I mean, there's just anything you can name, from mattresses to chairs to TVs, and it's the same way up over once you cross the bridge. And it is starting to get everywhere.
All the Lamar Hill and all those areas.
But that's not the only place. I'm talking about up Center Hill and Kentucky Lake and
Cordell.
Everywhere you go, it's getting bad.
Yeah, because you know, as a human race overall, it's just like we've lost the. You know, it's like, well, a little here won't hurt, well, a little there won't hurt. Well, you do that for 50 years,
and it's over.
And
we got
and there's a lot of hurt. So yeah, guys, just please keep that in mind. We want to leave that with you tonight.
And you know, I'm guilty as anybody of taking some lures out of a pack, letting them on the boat and take off, and that pack fly out.
Blows out.
I mean, I'm guilty.
We've
all
all
done
something like
that. But
that.
I'm not toting bags of stuff down the bank and just leaving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be taken very seriously, because you know, again, I hit on that's beautiful water up there, just clean, clear water, but that is not going to be forever if we don't start doing something about it. You know, and you know, we got to keep it preserved for these kids, so that when my daughter and your daughter, when they're our age and they got their kids or grandkids,
they got a place to take and talk about.
They got a place to take them.
Let me ask you this. What was the turkey kill count this year? Do you know?
Man, I tell you what, the exact final number, as far as the exact number, I'm not sure, but we broke 40,000 birds. 40,000. And set a new record for Tennessee this year. So it was a new record harvest.
That's great.
And so just between the restoration efforts that have been put into place that had so many birds here to begin with, we combine that with so many people being off work and having time being able to get out and go. and it was just it was a good season. The
Right.
weather was pretty decent too for the
Right.
most part on the weekends compared to a lot of years. You know, a lot of years your weekend hunters it'd pour
Sure.
down, thunderstorm all weekend,
Sure.
and then they'd have to go back to work. But yeah, everything just came together. It was like the perfect storm almost.
awesome.
And 40,000 birds here in the state of Tennessee, and it was a low percentage of jake kill. As a matter of fact, I
Right.
want to say it was down in the under 20%, I
Right.
believe. So, you know, really good season. Hats
Right.
off to everybody. It was a good
So
season.
we talked about something earlier that we want to touch base on. You know, fishing's good. I mean, everything's about right, but it's unseasonably cool. So
It
there's
is.
going to be a little change in some of your fishing spawning. Now, crappie stuff's a little different. Bass are a little different. When you go to shell cracker, there's some up spawning, but there's still some out
Yep.
deep.
Yeah. Now, what about them catfish? Though?
Well,
'Cause,
they're going to do the same thing.
you know,
They
we were
spawn the
talking
end of
earlier with
March.
catfish. Now, this week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now, last year, we were thumping some
Yep.
catfish. They were just coming in there at that point in time. Well, right now, they are not to be seen in the
It's
spots that they
it's
were
co-
in a year ago.
It's unseasonably cold.
So it's just a little bit different. So,
Yep.
guys, if y'all been experiencing that, just know, I mean, we're seeing the same thing.
Yep.
The places where those same fish were last year,
Yep.
you wouldn't think there was a fish in that lake, you know, but that could change tomorrow.
Hey,
you
let
know,
me
in the
ask
next
you a
few
random
days.
question. What can the deer hunters do to go ahead and get their food plot started and get everything ready?
Well, the thing to be doing right now is fighting your weeds. Go ahead and be getting your weeds cut out of there. If you're going to do a summer plot, go on and be getting turned up and put in. Now, to be honest, I don't do a lot of them because we usually have stuff planted in the spring, like clovers and stuff that will carry on through the summer. Then we'll turn and get started with summer plots. But it's a good time to be turning those fields and getting them ready. But the biggest thing, if you're not going to be turning them, is go ahead and be getting your weeds fall out of those fields, because when you get time to get ready for season and your field's
Right.
full of weeds and you got to get them all killed and then wait a few weeks and then come back and start plowing, it can really get into your time
Right,
and put you
right.
behind.
Sure.
So that's kind of what we'd like to stay ahead on with that, and not a bad time to go on and start doing some preparations with your stands and your shooting houses,
Get
make
ready
some
from last year.
repairs.
You
and,
know, everything you learned from last year.
you know,
kinda adjust.
if you keep putting it off, because I'm guilty, I've done it too, but then all of a sudden it's time for season, you've got 100 things to try to get done,
Yep.
and you've had all season, you know, all summer to do it. So good time to be getting a lot of that done right now. But guys, I'll tell you what, let's go on over and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week's been sponsored by Phoenix Rods. You guys can check them out at phoenixrods.com or give them a call right here in the great state of Tennessee. Call Mr. Jim Brewer at 931-213-1455, and they will get one in your hands today. All right, Dayton, I tell you, we tried to kind of hit a few little tips there, which is what we're trying to do tonight. But tonight's tip, I'm going to give one tonight, and it's kind of geared towards taking the kids fishing, but it's not just for the kids. Where we were fishing in some of these places that you guys saw earlier, there's a lot of rock, heavy chunk rock bottom,
Right.
and it is easy to keep a jig hung up all day and breaking those jigs off catching fish. And so Emery broke off enough. You know, she's kind of getting irritated. She's catching some fish, but she's getting irritated.
Sure.
Kept breaking them. So I said, well, look, honey, let's just do this. So we just took a float, just a bobber, and set that joker about 4 foot up above her. You can use it with your jig, live, but anything you want to
Sure.
use it for, but you just set that above that jig, 4 foot above it, and they can cast that thing and pop it right back over top of those rocks, just like you're doing, and that thing will stay right over top of the rocks. She
Well-
never got hung up again.
Sure. Well, a lot of people don't realize in a creek, if a crawdad spooks, he'll shoot off the bottom, and that current moves him.
Yeah.
So with that floater off the bottom, it looks like, you know, he's
Yeah,
just
it
floating
looks
down.
like he's come up.
He just come up. He's just trying to ease down the
Yeah.
creek, and they come up and feed on
Well,
him.
it works well, and again, it's a great way to keep them out
And
of the
that's
rocks.
even red eye, smallmouth, all that. They just
Yeah.
see that food.
They
and go
all
to
eat it too,
Yeah, they
whichever
go-
one that
it
comes
don't
by
matter.
first.
That's it.
Guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here in just a minute with some more Southern Woods and Waters.